Corey, Peyton Manning was 9-10 with the Colts, with 7 one-and-dones, and now Luck is 1-2. I guess you have a thing for losing teams and losing quarterbacks. Hey guys, it's the 4th installment of the Corytellallsports Podcast. I'm Rory, and my brother Corey is here. And as of bragging rights, since the Patriots won, I get a rant about my team, the Patriots, for 1 minute without Corey talking. I know this means a lot to him. So, where to begin? Just a masterful game by Bill Belichick and the crew. And Josh McDaniels just had a great plan as the offensive coordinator, just sticking it down the Colts D-line, just smash-mouth football, kind of like the old Steelers, just running the ball right between the tackles and the guards. 160 or so yards from LeGarrette Blount on 24 carries. 4 TDs, and then 2 TDs from Stephen Ridley, who's been had problems with fumbles the whole year, but really actually did very well. And Tom Brady only.
All right, I've been waiting for the minute mark for a while here. Here he goes. I'm not bitter about the loss at all. Okay, I just want to point out a few plays in the second half. Okay,
excuses here.
No. Okay, so Pats are up 29-22. It's a 7-point game. It's the third quarter. We get the ball. Griff Whalen comes out. He's going across the middle. He gets pass interference on him. No call from the referees.
He tripped over his leg by accident. I wouldn't call it a pass interference.
Okay, let me do the second point. Okay, we get the ball back. We force another Patriots 3-and-out, and we got the ball. It's 2nd and 9, start of the fourth quarter, and there's a trip on Luck, and they don't make the call. Should have been a first down. No call. So, I'm not bitter, but I'm just going to say I know how the 1985 Cardinals felt in the World Series.
Well, okay. I think the better word is I wouldn't blame it on the refs. I would say it's more domination. Corey, let's face it. The Patriots were the better team than the Colts. I know it's tough for you, but you got to admit, the Patriots outplayed and outcoached the Colts.
As much as it pains me, I think the game could have changed if we got those calls, but I think the Patriots did a pretty masterful job. Dominated us, especially in the run game. LeGarrette Blount with his huge game, 166 yards, 4 touchdowns. That trade for Dempson, a late-round draft pick's looking real good for the Patriots now. And then they just pounded us on the run. 46 carries, 234 yards, 6 touchdowns. What do you see from the Patriots run game?
Well, the run game was spectacular. In the first half, I was a little pessimistic. I thought we were getting a couple first-yard runs for 5 yards or so, but I just thought we had to get Tom Brady out. We had to get him throwing a little more. But Josh McDaniels really knew what he was doing because LeGarrette Blount broke out in the second half. He had over 100 yards or so in the second half, and really just a great game overall. And 13 rushing first downs. We really didn't break that code. We were about from the first half, we were about 4 more rushing first downs than passing, and we stuck to that, the Patriots. So it was just a masterful game by Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, and as much as the Patriots deserve credit for their running attack with Mankins and behind that left side,
Connolly.
Yeah. I think that it's also, you have to recognize the fact that the Colts do not have a strong run defense. Mm-hmm. In the last 4 years, we've had 8 games where the other team had more than 215 yards. And this year, we were 26th in the league in run defense. And this was the 14th time this season we allowed more than 115 yards.
Never had good middle linebackers. And Mathis is a great pass rusher. But when he rushes off the edge, it gives holes up the middle. And then Mankins just attack them. He just really overpowered them. But one thing, you got to give credit to the Patriots defense. A spectacular game. With Vince Wilfork down, Mayo, Spikes. These are well-named guys. The Patriots really stars in Wilfork and Mayo being defensive captains. You'd think you see a lackluster Patriots defense, but they just stepped up. Guys like Jamie Collins, Denner, 3 interceptions between them. And I think Jamie Collins had the game-changing play when Luck threw a terrible interception right into the hands, scored, and I think that's when the game was really out of hand for the Colts.
Yeah, Jamie Collins had a fantastic game today. Second-round pick out of Southern Miss, and Patriots scooped him off after he had a really good combine and huge game. He had 6 tackles, a sack, QB hits, an interception. He did everything out there, and obviously on that throw, we're down 2 touchdowns, and I think Luck forced that throw in there, and Collins made a really nice play for a big guy and took the pick and scored.
So that brings me to what I kind of want to ask you as a Colts fan. What do you think was going through with Luck? He didn't look comfortable, to be quite honest. He was rushing stuff. He was kind of forcing passes. I'm going to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, well, I think one of the problems that we had was we didn't establish a good running game. Donald Brown had one 16-yard run. Aside from that, we had 69 yards the whole game.
Trent Richardson Great trade there.
Good old Trent with 3 carries and 1 yard. I mean, he struggled as he has all season.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the fact that when you get 3 rushing first downs in a whole game, it puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So what happens is the Patriots knew we weren't going to run the ball. We only ran the ball 21 times as opposed to 41 passes. So as you stated before, your pass rushers came up and they weren't waiting for the run. They just attacked the quarterback, and Luck was under pressure the whole game. I mean, as you said, Jamie Collins did a really nice job. You also had Chandler Jones coming off the edges. So, I mean, Luck had a lot of pressure on him. And I think that interception throw just, it showed that he was forcing it a little bit without the run game.
I think the combination of Luck forcing some throws in there and a total collapse by the running back, so the Colts just able to get nothing. We also got to give credit to the defensive backs and the safeties of the Patriots. Devin McCourtney, you got Dennard, Aqib Talib, just guys who stick in there, Arrington, and just play hard. Aren't the most noticed. Aqib Talib finally getting noticed, his first Pro Bowl after a long tenure in the NFL, and I think he's really deserved all the credit he's got this year. He shut down T.Y. Hilton. Yes, he did have 100 yards, but he really was taking out the game for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dennard had a really nice game today. 2 interceptions. He was everywhere. McCourtney made that one bad play when Brazil got the touchdown and we brought it to within 7. He came up a little too early and was out of position. But, I mean, aside from that, the Patriots secondary, I agree. They deserve a lot of credit, as much as it pains me to say that. One of the other things that I think we need to talk about is the Colts defense. I mean, it really struggled out there, and I think the play that highlighted it is, we referenced it earlier, but the big Blunt touchdown, 73-yard TD.
Well, you look at who is the lone safety?
Landry.
Ron Landry. You cannot make an arm tackle there. You got to get your body in front of him. LeGarrette Blunt's a big guy, but he's not going to. One thing I disagree with Deerdorf, he's not going to outspeed you. You just got to tackle him at the line. I mean, they were letting him get through the gaps, and the middle linebacker, it didn't seem like there was anyone there. In fairness, it looked like Ron Landry was the only one playing defense, although he missed a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, the problem there, we were in a run defense, and
you knew we were running too.
Only had one safety in Landry. I mean, he did not have a good game.
I mean, 46 carries to 25 passing attempts. I mean, you knew we were going to run it, and we still run it down your throat. You got to look at guys like Freeman. I mean, I know they're the defensive captains, but they got to do a better job. I mean, there's only so much you can say for like boosting the team spirits up and like morale. You got to actually put the performance on the field, and that's why I think they really didn't do at all.
Yeah, I mean, our weakness all season was the run defense.
Always really has been. I mean, even when you had Dwight Freeney, he rushed to the outside and left big gaps up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, and that really killed us. I mean, throughout the game, when you bring it to within one score and you're right there, and then you allow a 73-yard touchdown, I mean, that's just the backbreaker. Because the only reason Luck, I think, forced that throw is because we went down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and he knew he had to make some plays.
And just the biggest showing, back to the point about the defensive line, was the last possession. About 9 minutes or so left on the clock. And that's really one time you got to give credit to the offensive line. Guys like Mankins, Connolly, they basically, Nate Solder, It's just a great play by them. That's the one time I really noticed the offensive line doing their work. I mean, you give a lot of credit to guys like LeGarrette Blunt, but the line, I mean, when you're able to milk the clock all the way down to about 3 minutes, is that when the Colts got the ball back? That's just great play by the Patriots offensive line, Blunt, Ridley, and just amazing play calling by McDaniels.
So now, as much as it pains me, I thought this would be my Colts' first championship since that 06 season against when we beat the Bears. However, it is going to have to wait till Luck's 3rd year. So now the Patriots, they're moving on, and this should be very interesting. Obviously, they're playing in the AFC Championship game. Either they'll be at home if the Chargers win, or they'll be on the road if the Broncos win. We could have another Manning-Brady game.
I would like that. I mean, what is he? 1-2.
2-1.
2-1 against Manning in the playoffs and countless times in the regular season. Definitely has I'm not sure of the exact record, but definitely a better record in the regular season. Classic matchups against your Colts in the regular season. So I think that could be an interesting matchup. And just to touch on the Patriots versus Chargers, I mean,
if it happens, what you're hoping for? I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. I'd rather not play Manning, especially if Welker back. But a good team the Chargers are. Phillip Rivers has really hit his stride, and he struggled the past couple years. He's gotten a lot of hate on him, and really well deserved because he hasn't played well. He's had a good supporting cast, but finally he's found his stride with guys like Matthews, who I'm pretty sure is hurt or banged up, but still I expect some dink throws to Danny Woodhead, a guy who, again, was on our team, a great running back, kind